Hi, this is a demonstration of Richard Borg's Battlecry. It's the new edition. I wanted to show you some of the differences in the new game. This is a demonstration game. It is not meant to teach the rules. I probably will make mistakes, but you are welcome to read the rules and kind of get more familiar with the deeper mechanics, but I'm going to show you basic gameplay here. We're going to be using the Vassal module, which kind of looks a little different from the actual game. The figures look a little different. But everything else is pretty much the same. Vassal is vassalengine.org. You can download this engine, so to say. It's a program that runs modules, and you take the module and you open it and you can replay games like this. Online or solo or however you want to do. So let's get into the gameplay. So the first thing I want to do is open up the notes and take a look at the setup information here. So as the Union player, they'll take 6 cards and they move first. And the victory condition is 6 flags. The Confederate player takes 6 command cards. Alright, so I've already drawn my cards, and we'll take a look at how the cards affect the boards. We have different types of units on the board, laid out historically, semi-historically correct situations here. And each unit has its own special characteristics, sort of like chess does, where a pawn can move 2 spaces in the beginning, or a knight moves up 2 and 1. But infantry can move none or 1 in battle. Its battle range is counted how many spaces between you and the target. So let's say this guy was attacking, and it's 4, 3, 2, and 1 dice at this range, but he would get, we'll talk about terrain in just a minute. For artillery, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, so 5 dice, 4 dice, 3 dice, 2 dice, 1 dice. And for cavalry, it is always close attacks only. So you can move 1, 2, or 3 spaces, but you always battle with 3 dice. And then the general, he basically adds support for flags. There's different types of dice rolls you can have. When you roll the dice, if you roll an infantry symbol, that hits an infantry. If you roll across swords, that hits anybody. If you roll an artillery, it hits an artillery. And if you roll a cavalry, or a horse, then that hits a horse. There are 2 infantry symbols, so they're more likely to be hit than a cavalry. There's only 1 cavalry symbol and 1 artillery symbol, so you get a 1 in 6 chance of those rolling, and then you get your X swords, and you can hit anything. So now we'll look at terrain a little bit. So if your unit is inside of the woods, or if it moves into the woods, you have to stop and you can't attack anymore. Cavalry and artillery may not battle after they enter the woods, and infantry battles at 2-1 instead of their usual 4-3-2-1. Battling out of the woods, all units battle normal, so the woods give you protection from the enemy. So a unit battling into the woods gets 1 less dice when they're attacking you if you're in the woods. The same applies for towns. If a unit goes into it, it must stop. It cannot attack. You may not battle after you enter, and a unit battling into a town gets -2 on the dice. And you can see the rest of the terrain is listed in the Vassal module. And we'll just take it as she goes. Okay, so the mechanics of the game are based on cards. You have to have a card for that section to order a unit in that section. So as you can see, this card has 2 units on the right. So looking at the board, I can order 2 units on the right. If a unit is on the line in between in that hex right there, that's considered either left or right section. It could be either one. So when you're playing in Vassal, you lay the card in the middle of the table. So your opponent sees the card. He chooses to move it to the discard pile just to acknowledge the fact that you've played that card. So you order your units by right-clicking and selecting Order. That's the first part of the phase. Then there's the movement phase. Each infantry can only move 1. And then if he had somebody to shoot at, he could shoot, but he has nothing to shoot at. So we're 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're still out of range of these guys. And that would be the end of the turn. And then we would draw a new card, and that would be the other player's turn. Okay, so I'm going to draw a random card for the opponent, and he's going to order 2 in the right flank. Now, if you notice in Vassal, your left is his right. So if you're playing the top guy, you got to do the opposite. Okay, so infantry can move move 1. And then cavalry can move up to 3, but he's going to take advantage of being on the hill for defensive, so he can kind of move down and sweep and attack later on. So now it's the Confederates' turn, and looking at our cards, we're going to move this general and this guy here. So we're going to save this good card, save this good card. Hit and run for cavalry means he can attack and then run away. Counterattack means I can do what the enemy just did. Since he played a 2, I'm not going to do that. So let's do 2 units on the right to try to get him into range. Okay, so we'll place it in the middle, and we'll order these 2. We'll just move up like that. Okay, so let's look at line of sight. From here we've got 4, 3, 2, 1, so we can roll 1 die from there, and then here the line of sight goes along the edge of the hex, so we can shoot from here. This guy cannot be shot at or shoot at us where we are right now. So let's go ahead and roll our 2 dice. We'll right click, set an attacker marker, and set in a target marker there, and then we'll roll our 1 die. So that's a hit. He takes a hit. And now we've battled here, and we move to the next attacker. So rolling another 1, 4, 3, 2, 1 die. That's cavalry, so there's no hit there, and he's done. That's the end of our turn, and we draw a new card. So it's the opponent's turn. Okay, so our opponent drew a fight back card, which I can't really use, so I went ahead and drew another card, and decided to use the force march card. So issue 1 order to each of your infantry in a section of your battlefield, so we can issue an order to all these guys. Okay, and then for their movement, we're going to move 1 into the town. 1. Okay, we've got him on that hex there, which can be ordered either center or left order section cards. This guy is eligible to do an attack because he's in range. So we'll do an attack marker and a target here. So that's 4, 3, 2. So we roll 2 dice there, and nothing, which is kind of odd. Okay, so here, looking at here, attacker, 4, 3, 2, and that's 1 hit. So looking here, he has nothing within range. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, actually, he has a 1 he can do. Attacker. And flag. So flag means they have to retreat. If he had a leader with him, he could ignore the flag, but he will retreat the flag. And the unit retreats. So that was their turn. I'm going to pull up my hand, look at my cards. And these guys are facing some serious firepower here. But since I have no cards on the right side, except for this one, I have to use this one because I won't be able to attack again. So we'll order these two. And we'll order this one. And this one. Movement. And okay, so this guy has no line of sight to anybody. Well, actually he does here. 4, 3, 2, 1. So we'll do an attack marker here. He has a flag, so he has to retreat. Four, 3, 2, 1. A hit. Cavalry has to be adjacent to do an attack. We actually could have moved in here and attacked from each side. But we have the hit and run card, which we're going to use here in a second, which allows us to move in, attack, and run away, preventing him from attacking us back. And that's the end of our turn, and we'll draw for their card. Okay, so they got the rally card. So if you were playing the game, you would probably wait till you had more units reduced, because you can't increase the strength of any unit past its original strength, and the only 2 units he has here that are reduced. So you roll 1 die for each command card that you have. He has 6. Alright, so he restores an infantry. Choice, choice. Actually, I think flag is choice. Okay, it doesn't look like there's a choice on that card. So we get to restore 2 infantry back to full strength, and they get to be ordered. So we do a restore and a restore, or recover hit, and then ordering. We'll move 1 and move 1. Okay, so the attacker. 4, 3, 2 dice there. 2 hits. And he's battled. And looking at the line of sight. Range of 4, so we throw 1 dice there. And it's a miss. And that's the end of his turn. And now it's our turn. So we were planning on using the not the counterattack, the hit and run card this turn, but since we're in trouble over here on the right and we don't have any cards to order, we're going to use the counterattack. And we're going to roll 6 to rally, and hoping to rally those guys. So we get 2 infantry, 3 infantry, and artillery. So he gets so we'll place all 3 here. And then we'll order that unit to go forward and attack and target. 4, 3, 3 dice. So infantry was a hit. Cross swords is a hit. He has to retreat. Okay, now it's his turn. He can do 1 on the right. So he will move this guy here. 4, 3, 2, 1. He'll shoot that lone guy here. it's a miss. And now it's our turn again. So let's play this attack center. And we'll decide to move our guys up close to the hill so we can get a nice attack here. We have no line of sight for these two units, but this one does. So we'll do an attacker, target, 4, 3, 2, and that's a flag and a hit. So he takes a hit, and he has to back up. And now it's his turn. Scout on the right flank. Okay, so the right flank is over here. And we're going to move the artillery up so we can get a shot. Now he can either move or fire, and he cannot move and fire, so he does not have a shot, which would be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He could have a shot if he was there. We also expect these guys to move up onto the hill, and this artillery would be helpful there. So it's our turn, and this will be the last card play of the game. But just to give you an idea of how the mechanics of the game work, we're going to assault everybody in the center. Okay. So these guys will move up on the hill for the defensive position. This guy will move here, and the artillery will move here to give us that range fire. 5, 4, 3, 2. He can't battle. The artillery can't battle since he moved this turn. Jackson is behind the hill. He can't attack. So we have 3 units here who can fire at 3, 2, 1. He is in a town, which gives him a defensive position. So let's pick on this guy right here. So target. Okay, so the first shot, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2. Miss. 1 hit for the infantry. And same thing here. And 1 hit there. So once the unit's completely eliminated, the units move to your side of the board, and then once you have 6 of those placed here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as we noted in the scenario notes, you would win the game. The dice rolls, you can roll multiple dice. You can roll 1 dice, you can roll 4 dice, depending on what you do. There's a nice terrain chart, or you can make your own scenarios and save these if you have a particular battle that you like. You can add trench works, and to rotate these you shift click. And that protects your units. So basically, since it's modular, you can do anything, any scenario that you want. Then once you get the scenario done, you can save the game, and then you just name it any file name, and then you can reopen it later and continue where you left off. So if you only got a couple turns in here and you got to go to bed or something like that, you can go to file and open that game later on, and you have to close this one first. But if you open that game, everything will be exactly as you laid out. The units, if you want to add extra units onto the board, or say you have a card that allows you to recover units, creating your own scenarios, that's how units are placed into the board. And you can see there's Confederate and Union here. The special notes for the scenario tell you how many cards you're supposed to draw, how many flags, and any special exceptions, like hills are impassable or something like that. And then the charts show you the shortcuts, how to use Vassal to order a unit using control keys, which makes it faster. You just click on a unit and then control O. Oops. And then the unit strengths and weaknesses are listed here. The terrain benefits are here. And this clears all the markers and ends the turn. You can export an image out of here and save it to your desktop. And you can also check line of sight by clicking on line of sight and pointing to a target. The line of sight has to be along the hex side free. So from the center of that one to the center of that one you can shoot, because the line touches the edge of the hex but it doesn't go through the hex. A line of sight going from here to here can't go through the mountain. From here to here you can't go through this area here. From here to here you could shoot. From here to here you could shoot. From here to there you could shoot. You have a range of 4. And when you're attacking somebody, if somebody's adjacent to you like this, and you have a unit here that you want to attack from here, you have to attack the adjacent unit first before you can attack the one that's far away. It just makes more sense. If somebody's charging at you, you're going to fight them first. I hope you enjoyed the demo, and I'll be happy to put up more. I'm hoping to do Command & Colors Ancients next.